Welcome to the V2V Podcast Survivor Series. Diamond Ranch Academy, Part 2, Lawsuits and Trouble.
All right, so this next section involves lawsuits and some specific trouble that Diamond Ranch Academy has faced over the years. And you may begin to see some patterns as I go through this. So get into the idea of what the trouble is with this place. A couple years ago, there was a lawsuit filed against Diamond Ranch Academy alleging that a therapist sexually groomed and assaulted a 16-year-old girl named Hannah Wilkin. She agreed to have her name on the record because she feels that it's important that she be as out front as possible to encourage other students to come forward, and it's pretty brave. So here's what happened. The lawsuit alleges that the incident occurred multiple times in April and May of 2016. So this is fairly recent. The treatment facility caters to troubled teens, according to its website. And according to the court documents, a newly licensed therapist intern assigned to providing counseling services to the 16-year-old victim used his position of power and authority to prey on Hannah Wilkin. Troy Ammon Carter is the name of the therapist. He told her minor details about his own sex life, questioned her about her own sexual history, and made inappropriate comments about her physical appearance. And additionally, the complaint states that he straddled Wilkin and unhooked her bra while providing a back massage in his office without a chiropractic license. That's an important distinction to make, that anybody on the staff who's not authorized and licensed to perform a particular act like a massage, like you have to be a massage therapist or a chiropractor to legally be able to do something like that. And he knew that. You can't just start groping teenage girls. So Carter would attempt to disparage her parents in an attempt to gain her trust, and started to detail inappropriate dreams he was having about her. The windows of his counseling office were covered with brown butcher paper. Wilkin's attorney, Craig Vernon, said that the therapist used the paper to cover up the windows, to literally cover up the sexual assaults while they were happening. So, if you're in a locked room or a closed room with windows and you're a therapist and you're talking to a young lady about issues she might be having, why would you not want someone to see that as happen? So you're going to put paper up on the windows.
I don't. First of all, if you're a program manager and you see that a young lady is being taken off to a room to talk to a male therapist, why would you accept that he has his windows taped up?
It's interesting that you would say that, because the very next sentence, her lawyer says, it's very curious to me that would go unnoticed, right? Hey, where's the new therapist guy? The new licensed therapist guy with who's counseling the kid, the girl. Oh, he's in his office. Oh, where's his office? Oh, the one with the paper on the window.
The problem is, though, Marcus, in this situation, there's kind of a ranking thing that goes on, where I feel like the therapist is above the unit manager.
There's a reason that happens. It's the fallacy of authority. So basically, the mindset here is that the therapist is like, look, I have a master's degree, and I have a license, and I'm a professional therapist, and I know stuff. I totally outrank you, so The manager, he has no clue regarding what's appropriate, even though he should. Like, he can kind of plead ignorance and also say that, oh, the therapist said so. So there are these power plays that occur because of a particular document or license, even though it's absolutely wrong, even though the manager is actually in charge of the therapist. These are the same ideas that made Hannah Wilkins' lawyer so curious about why that would just be considered normal. Right, so you make a good point.
Yeah, it is a fallacy of authority, because the whole thing is fallacy of authority. The entire thing, top to bottom.
So, as this kind of came down, Rick Carter was terminated in May of 2016 for inappropriate physical contact with another student. Wilkin came forward after, right? He was doing this to other kids and got fired for it, and then Hannah stepped up and said, hey, this happened to me as well. Prior to the alleged incidents, DRA required Carter to sign a document pledging he would stop all physical contact with his patients. He had previously been reprimanded for inappropriate contact with multiple male students, and the lawsuit claims that the treatment center provided the perfect environment for victims to be groomed and sexually abused due to inadequate supervision and internal policies. And when we get to these people's qualifications, it will be very easy to see why this kind of thing was allowed to go on. So it goes on to say just that the DRA did nothing to protect these vulnerable girls who were isolated and far away from their families. They did nothing at all until it got to the point where they decided they had to fire Troy Carter for continuously fondling and being sexually inappropriate with boys and girls. Washington County Attorney's Office ultimately declined to file charges due to a lack of sufficient evidence. He said, she said kind of situation, because of course, the paper on the windows might have helped that. If you can't see what's going on, it looks like Diamond Ranch got rid of their problem before, because they knew about it. I mean, obviously they had him sign papers.
Right.
So they elected to get rid of him before the heat got too great, where they would become more and more liable the longer this guy was around. It doesn't need to get to this point. Like, parents, if you're listening, this stuff goes on. It's documented. It's not fiction. If you send your kid away to this place, things like this happen. And you may not know about it. It took this guy getting fired for Hannah Wilkin to be able to courage to finally be able to speak up about it, because that guy was no longer around. So the year before, in 2015, a teacher there was arrested for possessing hundreds of images depicting child pornography on a personal cell phone and a computer at the school. So this guy's a piece of work. So Chad Huntsman is his name, and his wife, who also worked at Diamond Ranch, were both terminated following the arrest. In February of, I think February 2017, Huntsman was sentenced to 22 and a half years in federal prison, and the charges against his wife were dismissed due to a lack of intent. They got this guy 22 and a half years in prison. This guy might be teaching your child. He might have been that's horrific. And people might say, well, look, there are bad apples everywhere, and there are bad people everywhere. But here's the major difference. So you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to send your kid away, far, far away from you, to a private place where you don't know these people. You can't talk to them. You don't know them. You can't drive down the street and talk to your kid's teacher. They don't live in your community. So even though there are bad people all over the place, this is extra bad because they're totally isolated from you, the parent. You have no idea.
I'm kind of speechless. But why did they? What was the thing that they let her go on?
For lack of intent.
What does that mean?
She didn't intend those pictures to be on the phone and the computer. She didn't put them there. And if these were her children and she
had ignored something going on in the house.
Well,
right. Okay.
She could have been a different kind of victim in this case. So there's some other incidents that occurred. May 13, we had the suicide. Kid hung himself in the shower.
Yeah.
And following that, the facility decided to outfit all their showers with collapsible rods.
Right.
So that students could no longer kill themselves in the shower.
It's not like anyone looking into why this person did this. It's simply making it so no one can do it.
It kind of gets to the heart of something here. Again, it's easy to lose sight, I guess, kind of when you get into the weeds like this, that what this place claims to be.
Yeah.
Therapeutic boarding school. Dealing with mental health. They're dealing with inattentive, depressed kids. They're dealing with, or they're saying they're helping these kinds of things. So look, if a kid kills himself, that happens too, right? All these things that we're detailing happen in the real world. But when things like this happen at a place like this, but then to treat the problem by not doing anything beneficial for the children, it's another one of those big, giant red flags. Do you really want to send your kid who you think is having this much trouble to a place that doesn't care about, they care more about the look and the appearance of it being a nice place than actually treating the children that are in their care? No way. The best option is to not send your kid away at all and man up and be a parent. If I could throw my 2 cents in. But it really makes you wonder what isn't being discovered and what's going on right now, because that was 2016 when the girl was getting groomed to be sexually assaulted. So it's 2 years later. It's time.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're due for another incident.
That's
and
true.
maybe what we're doing right now is counter to that incident. Maybe we're the incident. Maybe we're hey, we got you now. Seriously. There are going to be a lot of people listening to this, and
I hope so.
It's really important that all of this information gets out there, and I think I need to take a break.
Thank you for listening to the V2V Podcast Survivor Series, Diamond Ranch Academy Part 2, Lawsuits and Trouble. Please stay tuned for Part 3, Admissions. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.